I did it. I did it. Pure shock and relief spread across Yin's expression as she dug her nails into Daki's arm, using the momentum of her body to send the demon crashing into a wall opposite to her. A rather lengthy thump resonated afterwards. Muzan smiles. This is it. This is the moment it all begins. It had taken almost 50 tries for Yin to finally land a hit and throw on Daki, something so few humans who weren't a part of the demon-slaying course could do. And Muzan was impressed. Impressed enough to at least feed her and give her some water and rest before placing her before Gitaru, letting the cool water slide down her throat. Energy thoroughly depleted, Yin let her head rest against the wall. I'm so tired. Just drinking this water feels like a freaking miracle. Closing her tired eyes, her glass sliding from her hand and onto the floor, she unwillingly fell asleep, her soft snore soon coming to Gitaru's attention, the demon having been crouching next to her. Whilst his brows clenched at how defenseless and vulnerable she had let herself become, he knew that she was a human, needed such things as rest, something as he, as a demon, did not need. Letting out a raspy hum, he slid his nail across her neck, a line of blood drawing across her skin. Yin merely groaned and shifted her head further away from his touch. It seemed that she was exhausted to the point that even being cut didn't wake her. Gitaru hummed in thought. How strange. His eyes widened the longer he stared, for the cut that he had made began to stitch itself back together bit by bit until it was fully healed. He knew about a regenerative ability since Muzan quite clearly made them known to the 12 Kizuki. But this was entirely something else. She had healed, almost as if she was a demon, but yet she was only human. Gitaru experimented with the notion once again, drawing the exact same size cut over the exact same spot, and it healed just the same, even faster than the last. Muzan-sama, he muttered, standing up abruptly as his gaze stayed pinned to Yin's form. I need to tell Muzan-sama. But just as Gitaru turned, his hunched form flinched when he stood almost chest to chest with Muzan, the progredder's red eyes flitting from him to Yin behind him before uttering out lowly. Tell me what, Gitaru? Muzan-sama, the human. She has been withholding an aspect of her regeneration's abilities from you, Gitaru explained, though he didn't know why he was saying this when all he could do was think. Oh? Muzan raised a brow at the news. Go on, then. What is it? Watch. Gitaru instructed, once more nicking Yin's skin and drawing blood, the cut soon fading away and stitching itself back up, healing once more. She heals even if wound inflicted isn't a life-threatening one, like what we've seen before. How interesting. Muzan stroked his chin as a rare smile curved onto his lips, though it being a calculating one all the same. A wonder. Such a bright wonder. She can heal wounds besides fully regeneration. Why have I not thought of that? Chuckling lowly to himself whilst trying to maintain his composure, Such a feat was proving quite difficult when the thought of what advantages and profits he'd obtained from just this newly uncovered ability alone made him ecstatic. Yin was almost the perfect model of a human, yet she'd been even more perfect as a demon, one that would follow him and stay by his side for all eternity. Thank you for bringing this to my attention, Gitaru. Muzan thanked the upper moon before dismissing, wishing to be alone with this so-called human Yin. Crouching down in front of her, Muzan allowed his eyes to wander her sleeping face. Reaching out, he toyed with a strand of her hair as he observed her expression. No discomfort or unease appearing at all, even though it was such a common occurrence in his presence. Whilst he enjoyed such reactions from humans, he also despised their pleas of sparing their lives. So the peace and silence of the situation was pleasing. Considering Yin also never displayed such irritated behavior despite being killed by him multiple times, it was truly satisfying. Such an interesting one indeed. Picking Yin up, Muzan carried her with ease and precise to her designated room before setting her down onto the futon. Slowly, he eased the blanket up to her chin to allow her to rest. After such a success she had today, he deemed it mildly acceptable. Sitting down beside her, one leg rested so he could rest his arm on his knee, he watched her sleep. The occasional murmuring and snores that slipped past her lips, making the corners of his lips twitch. He didn't understand it, but he just wanted to be by her side. Maybe he liked her power. Maybe he liked her quims that she'd jab at him. Whatever it was, whatever invisible force that drew him to Yin, he didn't mind it, even though she was a human and therefore inferior to him, because she was immensely powerful, because she was immensely durable to the harsh treatment he had been putting her through. He found her tolerable. You test my patience. You say things that no one would dare to say to me. You are not afraid of me. Muzan murmured, brushing Yin's hair from her forehead so that it framed her face instead. A human unlike the others. It seemed, though, that Muzan's constant viewing with her hair finally made Yin wake up. Blinking open her eyes since everything was a little blurry at first. Her sight then cleared. Staring into Muzan's eyes since he was hovering right above her as if it was the most natural thing in the world. She blinked slowly to make sure she wasn't still dreaming. She wasn't. The two just stared at each other. Yin couldn't say anything, too shocked from how Muzan was just so close to her, too irritated by how she looked from this position. Before she could even part her lips to speak, he was immediately gone, leaving her to sit up abruptly and press both the palms of her hands to her cheeks, her stomach erupting with butterflies when feeling how warm they were. She only hoped that he hadn't seen how flushed he made her. It's time for Toagawa Era's secret. Gitaru wishes to become closer to Yin, so he has a bit disapproval when Muzan just immediately dismissed him. Whilst Muzan felt pleased when finding out about Yin's newfound ability, he also felt relief, something he found strange in itself. Yin now has a new scar on her neck thanks to Gitaru.